This is the legal minimum space for a large pig. And this is the size of an actual pig lying down on its side. How much space a pig, sheep or cow reared for meat has during its lifetime changes depending on its quality of life and its size. Visualising what this means is difficult, because you wouldn't usually buy a full-sized pig like you might a chicken.
But to really understand how the different welfare standards translate to what you buy in the supermarkets, you need to decipher the stuff on the packaging.
Branding like farm fresh is effectively meaningless, as all meat is from a farm. But the standards on the farm and in production can vary wildly, especially with meat that's imported from abroad. So the key thing to look for is logos from UK accredited welfare schemes, as well as specific terms like free range and organic.
The big challenge then is to understand how they compare. So let's take one of their key considerations, spacing.
For a large pig reared for meat weighing 110 kilograms, Red Tractor standards will allow a minimum of 0.65 square metres per animal, and Red Tractor is aligned with the legal minimum here. And to meet RSPCA Assured guidelines, which is the next step up, the same pig would need to have a minimum of 0.8 square metres. But to visualise the reality of this spacing, you need to consider the actual size of a pig of this weight. And for this, we can use the estimate that a 110 kilogram pig takes up this much space lying on its side, which is when it's at its largest. Now, in a pen with multiple pigs, they won't lie in individual boxes. By law, all of the pigs must have enough space to be able to lie down on their sides at the same time, and often they lie touching each other, sharing the space around other pigs of different sizes. However, when you compare the minimum space allowed per pig by Red Tractor and RSPCA Assured, with the area of one lying fully on its side without another animal in its space, you can see the minimum allowance isn't very generous. For free range, there's a big jump up in the space allowance, where each pig is allocated 1.72 square metres in their shelter, plus unlimited access to the outdoors. And further still for organic, for example Soil Association, the UK's largest accreditation scheme, where each pig is given 2.3 square metres inside with unlimited access outside. For pigs, you might also see outdoor bred and outdoor reared on labels. With these, piglets have been born outdoors, but outdoor bred pigs are moved inside at weaning and reared at around 50 kilograms.
So you then have to look at the label for any indications of how they've been reared inside after. It should tell you what type of accommodation they've been moved to, but if it doesn't, you can assume it only meets the minimum standards.
Bedding isn't required for all Red Tractor pigs, but it is for other schemes, and for both Red Tractor and RSPCA Assured, the pigs can be kept inside for their whole life. Another key factor to consider for pigs is whether the sows have been kept in a farrowing crate while giving birth and their piglets are weaned. These are legally allowed and intended to stop them crushing their piglets, but are very restrictive. Of the schemes we've covered, only Red Tractor allows them. RSPCA Assured requires pens of at least 5 square metres, and the others give sows individual shelters outdoors.
Now, it's thought consumers are often more concerned about the welfare of pigs than sheep and cows. Because we see the latter in fields, you could assume there aren't as many welfare issues. And to that extent, if you're buying lamb or beef, you have fewer options, as these products aren't labelled as free range and RSPCA Assured isn't available in the supermarkets.
But if we take a large cow, similarly, you can see a big step up in space allowance from Red Tractor to Soil Association, which is organic. And the same for a sheep, even if we compare the Red Tractor space given for a ram, which is higher than a ewe.
Another key welfare consideration for sheep and cows is whether they've been grass-fed. Now, grass isn't necessarily healthier than grain, but it's what they naturally eat, and it usually means they've spent at least some of their life outdoors.
If a label says grass-fed, a minimum of 51% of the animal's diet comes from grass. The rest is likely to be grains, which is commonly used to fatten them up. The only way of knowing if lamb or beef is 100% grass-fed is if it has the Pasture for Life logo.
Now, looking in the supermarket, you'll notice a lot of red meat products don't carry any of these labels. But as a rule of thumb, if it's in a UK supermarket and it's British, it will likely adhere to red tractor standards, which meet and sometimes exceed the legal minimum. The benefit of choosing red tractor as a minimum is it ensures your meat is fully traceable and has been farmed to UK standards with restricted use of antibiotics. But as we've seen from delving into some of the standards, red tractor and even RSPCA Assured can be very restrictive on the animals. If you want to shop for meat with a higher quality of life, choose outdoor bred, outdoor reared, free range or organic. But these products aren't always readily available in the supermarkets, so you might need to check a few, or of course ask your local butcher about its labelling.
When we contacted Red Tractor to comment on our investigation, it said the following: there is a UK legal requirement that pigs have enough space to allow all the pigs in a pen to lie down at the same time. So Red Tractor producers will at a minimum provide sufficient space to ensure that this is met. RSPCA Assured told us, our minimum space allowances for pigs exceed those of Red Tractor and legislation for most ages of pig. However, we would like to go further and are currently reviewing space allowances with a view to increasing them. And the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs told us, the government shares the public's high regard for animal welfare, and we are proud to have some of the highest animal welfare standards in the world. There is a specific and strictly enforced legislation to protect the welfare of all pigs, which every operational farm, regardless of scale or method of production, must comply with.
For more videos like this answering your consumer questions, subscribe to the Which YouTube channel.